Hi, Matt Welch here with Nick Gillespie. We're here on Ask a Libertarian Day in honor of the publication of the paperback version of the Declaration of Independence, How Libertarian Politics Can Fix What's Wrong with America. Nick, next question.
This one comes from Dana Perino, the former Bush communications officer, who's now one of the co-hosts of The Five on Fox News, a great show. Dana Perino asks, what's the simplest explanation about the difference between conservatives who say they're socially liberal and fiscally conservative and real libertarians? Dana, thanks for the question. We don't necessarily try to define real libertarians, but for me, one of the ways I look for posers is if they say they're fiscally conservative, but they're not willing to put defense on the table. If they say they're socially liberal, but they're not willing to actually put free speech really at front and center, then I tend to think these people are just pretending to be libertarians because libertarianism is getting hot.
Dana asks a five-part question, but we're only going to take part two because there's a lot of people in the queue here, as they say in England. So, as someone with evolving views on the legalization of drugs, Dana Perino asks us, could you describe what the transition period would be like if the USA were to legalize? What would happen to people currently serving sentences for drug-related crimes? Great question. I think the first step is legalization of recreational marijuana. I mean, actually, the first step has already been taken in many ways, where states have been introducing medical marijuana for people who can get a prescription written for whatever use that they want. But I think we need to get to a point where we're not locking up or not arresting 800,000 people a year based on a substance that the president has used very vigorously, and everyone after a certain age pretty much has used without dying or hurting themselves. It's ridiculous. It's an outrage. What happens to the people who are currently in jail? They'll be treated on a case-by-case basis, kind of like people right now who have been sentenced for crack sentences that have since been reduced. But I think the first ultimate step is to legalize the one substance that so many people have used without damaging themselves, that has created just an abysmal situation in our criminal justice system.
The great thing about ending marijuana prohibition, too, is that we have a template for this with liquor prohibition, and most of these problems have been addressed in the past. And there were a lot of problems with the end of prohibition, but it serves as a pretty good guideline.
Ask a Libertarian. We're here all day. Come on back.